This world was erased from the planets list, but not from history. Welcome to Universe Secrets, where today we embark on a long journey to the darkest reaches of our cosmic neighborhood. For decades, it was known as the ninth planet, a mysterious, lonely sentinel guarding the frontier before the deep void. Generations of students grew up memorizing its name, believing it was a solid rock just like Earth or Mars. But in the year 2006, everything changed forever when the astronomical community made a controversial and shocking decision. The International Astronomical Union voted to redefine what a planet is, stripping Pluto of its title and changing history books. The reality was harsh because Pluto is incredibly small, actually smaller than our own moon, which puzzled many scientists greatly. Its orbit is also erratic and tilted, unlike the orderly flat plane where the eight major planets circle the sun. They realized Pluto is not unique, but merely the brightest member of the Kuiper Belt, a vast ring of debris. The discovery of Eris, a similar sized world, forced scientists to either add more planets or finally create a strict definition. To be a planet, a world must orbit the sun, be spherical, and critically, it must clear its orbital neighborhood. Pluto failed this last test because its path is still cluttered with countless icy rocks and debris from the formation era. So it was reclassified as a dwarf planet, a decision that remains controversial among public fans and some scientists today. However, just months before this demotion, NASA had already launched a daring mission to explore this distant and unknown world. The New Horizons spacecraft blasted off from Earth on a powerful rocket, becoming the fastest object ever launched by humans. It was traveling at such incredible speeds that it crossed the orbit of our moon in just under 9 hours. The spacecraft raced through the inner solar system, aiming for a crucial gravity assist from the giant king of planets. In 2007, it swung by Jupiter, stealing some momentum to increase its speed for the long voyage ahead. As it left Jupiter behind, the sun became just a bright star, and the spacecraft entered a long electronic hibernation. For years, it slept in the cold dark, waking up only briefly to check its systems and correct its trajectory. This long cruise phase was necessary because the distance to Pluto is roughly 3 billion miles away from our planet. Finally, in early 2015, the spacecraft woke up fully to prepare for the most anticipated encounter in history. The initial images were just pixelated blobs, but they were enough to guide the spacecraft toward its tiny moving target. Back on Earth, the mission team held their breath, knowing they only had one shot to get this flyby right. As the weeks passed, the fuzzy blob resolved into a complex world with distinct white and dark red surface features. On July 14th, New Horizons made its closest approach, capturing gigabytes of data that would take months to transmit back. When the first high resolution image arrived, the world was stunned to see a massive, perfect white heart on the surface. This region, named Sputnik Planitia, shocked scientists because it was completely smooth and free of any impact craters. Unlike our dead moon, this lack of craters meant the surface was geologically young and had been reshaped very recently. The ice plains are divided into strange polygonal shapes, created by slow convection currents of churning, soft nitrogen ice. Heat from deep inside the dwarf planet causes the nitrogen ice to rise, cool down, and sink back down continually. It acts like a cosmic lava lamp, proving that this distant cold world is actually alive and geologically active inside. Surrounding these flat plains are towering mountains that rise as high as the Rockies, but they are not made of rock. At these extremely low temperatures, water ice becomes as hard as rock, forming the bedrock skeleton of the entire planet. We can see glaciers of nitrogen flowing down from highlands, cutting through the landscape, just like ice glaciers on Earth. The sunlight here is weak, about as bright as twilight on Earth, yet it is enough to drive weather cycles. Beyond the white heart, much of Pluto is covered in a dark red material that puzzled scientists upon first sight. These are called tholins, complex organic compounds created when ultraviolet sunlight interacts with methane in the thin upper atmosphere. They rain down slowly over billions of years, painting the surface in shades of deep red, orange, and brown. When New Horizons looked back, It saw a stunning blue haze, revealing that Pluto possesses a thin but distinct atmosphere. This atmosphere is layered with haze, extending much higher into space than anyone had predicted before the mission arrived. The atmosphere is constantly escaping into space, stripped away by the solar wind, yet somehow it is constantly being replenished. Among the mountains, one feature stands out: Wright Mons, a massive peak with a deep depression in its center. This is likely a cryovolcano, an ice volcano that erupts a slushy mixture of water and ammonia instead of lava. These eruptions resurface the planet, explaining why some parts of Pluto look so young compared to the rest. Wright Mons is immense, comparable in volume to Mauna Loa in Hawaii, the largest volcano on our own planet Earth. But what powers this activity? We must look deep beneath the frozen crust to find the source of the heat. Scientists believe that radioactive elements in Pluto's rocky core are decaying, releasing enough heat to keep the interior warm. This heat could sustain a subsurface ocean of liquid water, rich in ammonia, which acts as a powerful antifreeze. The thick shell of nitrogen and water ice acts like a thermal blanket, trapping the heat inside for billions of years. The heavy weight of the Sputnik Planitia ice sheet actually caused the entire planet to tip over and reorient itself. This reorientation would be nearly impossible unless there was a liquid layer decoupling the icy crust from the solid core. If a liquid ocean exists, it raises the tantalizing possibility that life could potentially survive in these dark, deep waters. We cannot talk about Pluto without mentioning its constant companion, Charon, the largest of its five known natural satellites. Charon is half the size of Pluto, making them more of a double planet system than a planet and moon. They orbit a common center of gravity outside of Pluto, a unique dance that happens nowhere else in our system. They are tidally locked to each other, meaning they always show the same face, staring eternally across the empty void. Charon has a dark red polar cap named Mordor Macula, which is actually paint stolen from Pluto's escaping atmosphere. Methane gas escapes Pluto, drifts over to Charon, and freezes onto the pole where winter lasts for 100 years. Solar radiation then cooks this frozen methane into reddish Tholins, creating the rusty stain on the moon's gray face. Charon also features a massive canyon system that stretches for 1,000 miles, likely formed when its internal ocean froze. As the ancient ocean inside Charon froze, it expanded, ripping the crust apart like a bursting seam on a shirt. Orbiting further out are four tiny moons: Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra, which tumble chaotically as they circle the pair. These small moons are likely debris left over from the massive collision that created the Pluto and Charon binary system. Billions of years ago, a large object smashed into Pluto, ejecting material that eventually coalesced into the family we see. After its historic flyby, New Horizons did not stop. It continued deeper into the Kuiper Belt to explore new targets. In 2019, it visited Arakoth, a primordial object shaped like a red snowman, preserved since the beginning. Arakoth revealed that planets can form through a gentle merger of clouds of pebbles, rather than violent high-speed collisions. Today, the spacecraft is billions of miles away, sending back faint signals as it sails toward the interstellar exit. The data from Pluto has revolutionized our understanding, showing that small planets can be just as complex as big ones. Scientists are still analyzing the treasure trove of information, and many mysteries about this icy world remain to be solved. There are already proposals for a return mission, an orbiter that could stay for years to study the changes. Perhaps one day, future generations will look out from the surface of Pluto, watching the distant sun rise slowly. Pluto taught us that the outer solar system is not a graveyard of dead rocks, but a dynamic, living frontier. It stands as a testament to human curiosity and our drive to explore the unknown, no matter how far away. The heart on Pluto serves as a cosmic reminder that beauty and wonder can be found in the coldest places. Whether we call it a planet or not, Pluto remains one of the most fascinating and beloved worlds we know. Imagine standing at the base of those ice mountains, looking out over a frozen ocean of nitrogen under a black sky. With no light pollution and a thin atmosphere, the stars would shine with a brilliance that we can only imagine. We have even found dunes on Pluto, not made of sand, but of tiny grains of solid methane, driven by wind. It is remarkable how the laws of physics create similar landscapes on worlds that are separated by billions of miles. Some scientists suspect Pluto might even have a faint ring system made of dust, though New Horizons did not see it. Studying Pluto and the Kuiper Belt is like looking into a time capsule from the birth of our solar system. These materials have remained virtually unchanged for 4.5 billion years, holding the secrets of our own origins. The hunt continues for other dwarf planets, and perhaps even a massive Planet 9 hiding far beyond Pluto's domain. New telescopes like the James Webb are helping us peer deeper into this twilight zone to find more hidden neighbors. We must honor Clyde Tombaugh, the young astronomer who first spotted the moving dot of Pluto back in 1930. A small amount of his ashes was actually carried on New Horizons, allowing him to finally visit the world he discovered. It was the ultimate tribute, completing a human journey that began with a blinking plate in an Arizona observatory. Science is not about fixed facts, but about changing our minds when new evidence arrives to challenge our old beliefs. Pluto represents the boundary of the known, the gateway to the third zone of our solar system that awaits exploration. Seasons here are extreme and long, with a single season lasting for decades as it completes its long oval orbit. As Pluto moves further from the Sun, its atmosphere will eventually freeze and collapse entirely onto the surface as ice. Then, as it approaches the Sun again centuries later, the ice sublimates and the planet grows a new atmosphere. This cycle is like a slow planetary heartbeat, a rhythm of freezing and thawing that has continued for eons. Nitrogen is the key player here, acting like water does on Earth, flowing, evaporating, and shaping the dynamic terrain. We still debate how the giant basin formed. Was it a massive impact, or did the heavy ice sink naturally? While nitrogen is soft, water ice provides the rigid structure, forming the bedrock mountains that hold the sky up. It is hard to comprehend the isolation of this world, sitting 40 times further from the sun than we are. Light and radio signals take 4.5 hours to cross the immense gap between Earth and Pluto. This delay meant that the spacecraft was on its own during the flyby, following pre-programmed commands without human help. The success of the mission is a triumph of robotic autonomy and precise engineering, calculated years in advance. As New Horizons looked back for the last time, it captured a beautiful crescent Pluto, a farewell to the icy king. That image reminded us all of the beauty that exists in the dark, waiting for us to find it. The exploration of Pluto has opened the door to the outer solar system, encouraging us to push even further out. The discovery of a potential ocean on Pluto adds to the list of icy worlds that might harbor alien life. The universe is full of surprises, and often the things we think are dead and boring turn out to be alive. From its controversial demotion to the heroic mission and the shocking geology, Pluto has truly earned its place in history. It is more than just a dwarf planet. It is a complex, active world that challenges our definitions of reality. New Horizons is now heading into interstellar space, joining the Voyager probes as an emissary of humanity to the stars. Its nuclear battery will eventually die in the coming decades, and the ship will become a silent, drifting ghost. But the data it collected will be studied for generations, fueling new discoveries long after the spacecraft has gone silent. Let the story of Pluto remind you to keep looking up, to question the established rules, and to stay curious. If you enjoyed this journey to the edge of the solar system, please subscribe to Universe Secrets for more adventures. Check out our other videos exploring the mysteries of Mars or the rings of Saturn to continue your cosmic voyage. As we leave Pluto and Charon to their eternal dance in the dark, we thank you for watching this story. The universe is vast and full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. So join us next time to discover them. This has been a presentation of Universe Secrets. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.